The money on the bus goes clink, clink, clink.
The buses are going to be free, though.
God forbid we expect children's content creators to not be political. Like, I wouldn't want Miss Rachel wearing a MAGA hat. Now, guys, up next, we have another crazy story from New York under their new mayor, Zohran Mamdani, the radical left-wing communist Marxist. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm so biased against him and describing him as this crazy radical, but he kind of is. A few years ago, he was just casually tweeting quotes from Marxist writings. He was saying that queer abolition requires abolishing the police or defunding the police or what have you. And he's now the mayor of New York City. So we're going to see how this goes, y'all. We are going to wait and see how this goes. But there's a strange thing happening early on in his administration, which is that he is continuing to team up with Ms. Rachel, the super popular infant content creator and YouTuber for kids. She makes videos teaching, and I'm not a parent, so I've probably watched 2 of her videos ever, but I've seen her get involved in the political space, which I just don't understand why you would, as a super successful children's content creator, decide to get political. And I can understand it a little bit as applied to humanitarian aid and wanting to help kids in Gaza. Maybe you could say she's well-intentioned on that, but just directly tying yourself to the administration and doing propaganda and PR for this radical left-wing extreme figure who just became the mayor of New York City is just weird. And it feels like a career self-immolation that does not make sense to me. But they are teaming up to push Mamdani already. So he shared from the official New York City mayoral account, the good news, we're winning universal child care faster than anyone expected. The bad news, Ms. Rachel and I have to find some new song inspiration. And then they posted this video that, listen, guys, I had to hear this. My ears had to be audibly hate crimed by this audio file I'm about to play for you, this video and audio file. So you do too, because I'm sick like that. And when I have to suffer, I like to make y'all suffer as well, because then we trauma bond in the cringe. Really, that's what's going to happen with this clip. Let's watch.
The mayor on the bus says, hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. The mayor on the bus says, hello, friends. All through the town. The money on the bus goes clink, clink, clink.
The buses are going to be free, though.
That's so wonderful. But this is my song, and the kids like to do it. Clink, clink, clink.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I have another one.
Okay.
Yeah, I have another one. The babies on the bus go where?
Aren't the babies happy about the childcare?
They're so happy. Actually, the parents are really happy. But this is my big hit. I need to
This is your show.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Haha. Get it? It's so funny and cute and clever because she's Miss Rachel and she makes videos for kids and he's the socialist mayor and he's gonna try to make city buses free and have universal daycare for everyone. I don't know, man. Actually, I'm thinking, now that I think about it, I think we need to watch it again. You guys didn't get enough of a sense of that the first time, so I'll just play it back for you. Let me do... No, I'm just kidding. I will not subject you to that. But this bothers me because it's God forbid we expect children's content creators to not be political. I wouldn't want Miss Rachel wearing a MAGA hat and going to do videos with President Trump. It's I don't know exactly what it is that Miss Rachel did. Like I said, I don't have a 2-year-old, but I do have, people and friends that have young children. And I think they may have watched Miss Rachel at least at one point, maybe before she started getting political. But it's can't you just freaking teach kids the ABCs and the numbers? Why do you, especially because she does this all in character. It's not I would have a lot more time for this or a lot more space or nuance if she was, even then I would still think you probably shouldn't mix these worlds, but if she was just doing this children's content as Miss Rachel and then in her personal capacity as Rachel whatever, going on to campaign for candidates and getting political as an adult, totally separate, I would have more space for that. I still think you probably should pick one leftist activist or little infant content creator. However, there would be a more defensible argument for that. But she has so clearly merged these worlds, even doing this propaganda and these things pushing this political extremism in one direction and just promoting a radical candidate who is out of step. Even if you like Zohran, you have to admit, in the context of America, he is like representative of your most 10% left-wing fringe, politically speaking. Most Americans are nowhere near that level of socialist, leftist, progressivism, social justice, identitarian, all the stuff that he is and has been his entire life. And she's like, that's my bestie. We're going to make buses free. Clink, 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 clink. Like, what are we doing? Why is this a thing? That does not make sense to me, that you would so thoroughly politicize innocuous content creation in this manner for kids and seemingly jeopardize what I'm sure is a very successful business empire for Miss Rachel. But then it serves to whitewash. That's the problem with these kinds of things. And with so many celebrities and people rallying behind Zohran, despite how radical and crazy he actually is. I mean, this guy, just a couple of years ago, as a full-grown adult, was talking about seize the means, like abolish private property. He just appointed this housing official. I covered this on the podcast before, who like thinks home ownership is white supremacy, and you're attaching your brand and your name to that and to these specific policies like the free buses. What could possibly go wrong with eliminating fares? Like, if you wanted to tell me that you're progressive, so you're going to create some kind of program for low-income people where they can get a taxpayer-funded bus card or something, that would be one thing. But just the buses being free-for-all zones is going to turn into roving homeless encampments and drug factories on the buses, and like people just hanging out there in the winter all day, and they're going to stink, and it's going to get in the way of actual people who need to use the buses. How is that hard to see coming? Now, that will only happen if he's actually able to implement it widespread. They've done a couple pilots where they just make a couple buses free, and then they're like, see, nothing bad happened. And that's like, well, because just a couple of buses. It didn't become a different system, and it didn't catch on widely enough for people to start exploiting it and abusing it. None of this is that hard to see how it could go wrong. And all of it, of course, will just be more taxpayer money being confiscated from New Yorkers, those who remain, because lots of them won't, if they really do impose these punitive taxes, all in these kind of pie-in-the-sky dreams that sound nice. Free this, free that. Especially you do a little Miss Rachel song and you say, free shit for you, free shit for me, it's all free, 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 free. Well, at the end of the day, somebody does have to pay for it. And I'm sorry, but I'm call me old-fashioned, but I still think people should pick a lane and stick to it, and that children's content creators and YouTubers should not be endorsing and promoting political candidates of any kind, but especially not radical, controversial extremists like Zohran Mamdani. That's my take. And I just honestly would not trust that whatever I'm putting, I'll turn on Miss Rachel for my kid. And then a couple seconds later, you hear, A is for all cops are bastards. B is for Bernie Sanders. C is for communism is the best. D is for democracy is our whatever. I don't know. See, not my talent, not my motion, not my thing to be doing. You don't want to turn on Mr. Brad or get my wig back on and put Miss Brad on for your kids. And you shouldn't, because I'm a political commentator and that's what I do. So I find it totally discrediting and just a bizarre decision to make, really, career-wise. And I guess it sort of makes sense for Zohran politically, because she's maybe a popular figure or just a figure a lot of people know about. But I don't know. Even if I was like a Zohran fan and lived in New York City, I'd be like, it's a little weird, isn't it? Like, why is Miss Rachel singing to me? I'm an adult. Presumably, like, as the mayor, you should be pandering to voters, not toddlers. I don't know. I find the whole thing bizarre on so many levels, honestly, but I wanted to share it with y'all, and you guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments below. Do make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Hit the like button, yada, yada, Yeah.